Well, we haven't talked to you since the deals got done with Brandon and Trent, and you can just tell us, kind of how you felt getting across the finish line. Is it? I guess the question is, it's just bygones. All the acrimony of the summer is forgotten, and now you lock arms and you guys are on the same team, or do we still have to work through some acrimony?
No, I think ironically that. Brandon went through this whole thing where he was here, and Trent was kind of out of sight, not out of mind. I mean, he was always on our mind, and so it kind of felt different. Brandon was here; we were dealing with him on a daily basis. But the one thing I've always, I think it's the way I was raised by John and Kathy. It's just forgive and forget, and like. I think that goes both ways. That these things get intense. People are passionate about it, about their positions. We got to run a team. But one thing I've learned is you go from being in intense negotiations to hugging them and understanding that they're a big part of their life's dream just came true. That their family set up, their family's family set up, and that's a great thing, and our team is set up too. So it's not like it just fulfills their dreams. It helps keep stud players here, and I think have to acknowledge the York family who continues to allow us to treat our players the way we do and reward our players, and we've rewarded a lot of them, and these guys are two examples, and I can tell you when you step on that field and all of a sudden you have Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk and Christian's back at practice, and it feels a little different, and it feels great, and it's been a good vibe here.
Well, it is, and God bless John and Kathy. They did a good job, and maybe they get a beer. Maybe John and Kathy get a beer out of this whole thing, right?
Field work.
Okay, so obviously, that's the deal in almost any NFL team. When you work out these contracts, you just want to get on the field and play football, and now you guys have done that. And we haven't even talked to you since Ricky Pearsall. And I mean, my gosh, John, we're coming up on 1 week. It's a mind-blowing turn of events, and we've all gone through the emotions from the Saturday trauma to the Sunday comeback to the Monday appearance in the the weight room, and then yesterday on the field. I mean, there's been just this incredible week. If you could take us through your week and where we're at right now with Ricky and his chance to even, I hate to even ask such a callous question, but even to play football this year.
Yeah, so a lot to unpack there, and in the midst of all that other thing, I think this is the one thing that probably to our entire team, we've been in the midst of some very public contract disputes, and trying to figure those things out. Well, what brings more perspective than someone fighting for their life? And that's exactly what Ricky was doing. A young man went down for an autograph signing on Saturday, and then went down to Union Square to get some luggage, and at some point was approached and tried to rob Ricky, and whatever ensued, and I just know I was sitting home. We had our team party at the Shanahan's house, and I get a call from Austin Moss, our director of player affairs, saying, hey John, hold on, we got a serious issue going on. Ricky Pearsall's been shot, and I as you can imagine how you take that call, it's not a fun one to get, and within minutes, I'm on the phone with Austin. I'm on the phone with Ricky's girlfriend, and we're trying to figure out what's gone on, how it's gone on. And I've got team security coming to my house, picking me up and taking me down to San Francisco General. And, fortunately on the way down, he was shot in the chest. They have him headed to San Francisco General. Things are we're just trying to get updates, and about 10 minutes before I got there, look, we think he's stable and he's doing well, but again, you want to see it, you want to believe it, and so it was a whirlwind of emotions. It was Kyle and I talking, okay, we got this huge team party, we're obviously going to cancel it. But then, getting down to the hospital, and it looks like things are a lot better than we might have anticipated. And and seeing Ricky, and quickly the only thing he said is, "Mr. Lynch, I was ready to come to that party, and like, what are we doing with that?" "Well, Ricky, we'll deal with that. No, that party needs to happen," and so that kind of was the deal, and just a gathering of support that I said it the other day. The San Francisco Police Department was just tremendous. The way they took care of Ricky, the way they took care of the situation. The people at San Francisco General, the doctors, the nurses, just phenomenal. The police had that hospital on lockdown and just handled things incredibly well. I was incredibly proud of our staff. You get in these moments of crisis, how are you going to handle things? And we work hard to have action plans. You don't have an action plan for something like this. We try to, and we will going forward. But man, the way from our security to Austin Moss and his team, Mike Anderson and Dan Corey, our director of security, Corey Rush, who's sitting right here by me right now. But like the way they handled everything was just phenomenal. And the best thing is that Ricky's doing well and has a good prognosis. You asked the question, can he play this year? Absolutely, he's going to play this year, and we're going to give him the time to do it when it's right for him, and that's physically, mentally, emotionally. But I can tell you he's doing really well.
Yeah, and what's remarkable is that we saw Ricky at the facilities yesterday. So, John, talk to us about what it means that Ricky's back with his teammates and also his comments to Kyle that he wants to play in Week 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said within a minute when I got to the hospital and, was when can I play? And it was, to me, it was to the surgeon. And, I think we had to quickly kind of take in this whole situation. And remember, Ricky has come off a couple injuries during training camp and the off season. And so we had to make a quick decision. And we just felt like talking to all the experts that the best thing for Ricky would be to take a little bit of time to get physically right, but then also the trauma, that part. And so we put him on the NFI list, which dictates that he's got to be out for at least 4 games, and then we'll take it from there. We're going to take it slow, but I will tell you, he continues to amaze me with how well he's doing. I think people saw some video yesterday of him out here twirling the ball around, and 3 days ago that wasn't it. He was really, holding that thing like it was immobile, the right side of his body, and so he's coming incredibly quick and really miraculous outcome for something that was as scary as it was.
Incredible, and thanks for sharing all those details. It really is illuminating and brings the 49ers family kind of together here. John Lynch, of course, on the Yuma guest line. And John, of course, then you get to the point where you start talking about the mental part, the emotional part. This is a delicate thing to talk about. It's a big thing in sports now. Mental health. The Giants have these T-shirts they wear that say like, something about mental health is a form of strength or something like that. But they're open about it. Is my point. The other part is Clyde Edwards-Helaire is famously sitting out for the Chiefs, saying he has PTSD from an incident involving a gun years ago. So I guess I'm just asking for everybody out there who has mental health concerns and issues, even in their own lives. Is that a part of you guys' recovery plan with him, is to, talk about things that people didn't used to talk about?
Absolutely. And that will, those things are made available to all our players. Again, the York family gives us every resource. So we have clinicians and counselors, and if we don't in a specific area, we'll go secure those for our guys. But that's going to be a personal thing for Ricky, how much he wants to do, when he wants to do it, all that kind of stuff. I think the greatest thing, though, is that, this football family, and we take a lot of pride in that. We become a family. He has his own nuclear family, but he has an extended family here. And so just being here and understanding that he doesn't want to have to retell this story over and over and over again, but we can just be here for when he does want to share things. And he's got a giant family here, and I think it gives him a lot of comfort to be here around his teammate. And then the other side, he loves football. He loves being around football, and he can't wait to get back. He understands we did what we had to do, what we thought was best for him and for the team in the transactional move that we made. But that was all in the spirit of when we drafted Ricky Pearsall, we were incredibly excited about that, but that was a long-term play. And so we remain as excited, and we just want to get him well. And now we focus on the Jets in week 1, and we got a lot going on. Aside from a Monday night football game against a great team, we're inducting Frank Gore into our Ring of Fame, and man, if anyone deserves it, it's Frank. And we love Frank. I think you guys had him on this morning, and he's a legend around here, and he earned that. And so there's a lot of exciting things going on this week, but most importantly, we got a big game against the Jets.
All-time leading rusher in 49er history, and he was on, and just his classic work ethic, and Frank, and we talked about his son too on the Bills practice squad. So speaking of running backs, we definitely have to ask you about Christian McCaffrey. Most 49ers fans were alarmed to hear the word Achilles tendon in the injury report. John, can you shine a light on that, and will he play Monday?
Yeah, I mean, Christian's doing great. We got to finish the week here, but he looks like Christian, and that's a good thing for us. He's looked like Christian out here at practice, and we had a bonus day here on Tuesday. I believe my days are all screwed up because of the Monday night, but we had a bonus practice, and he was there. He was out there yesterday. So Christian's looking really good. Obviously want to see him progress through the week, but we had confidence that Christian would be ready, and he's doing very well. He takes tremendous care of his body and takes so much pride in that, and he'll be out there and ready to roll.
Yeah, I know 49er fans are looking forward to seeing CMC against Robert Saleh's defense Monday night. And, John, I wanted to ask about Robert Saleh making his return to the West Coast. You guys have had success promoting in-house defensive coordinators or coaches. Now we're seeing it with Nick Sorensen, whether we're talking Robert Saleh or D'Amico Ryans. Do you see any similarities between Nick Sorensen and those guys in your decision to promote him to D.C. this year?
Yeah, I do. First of all, Robert, I'm real happy for him and his success. I remember early in our tenure here, I was down in my house in San Diego when this whole thing just came together, and Kyle saying, hey, he was still coaching in the Super Bowl, and I need you to interview this Robert Saleh. I think he's got the goods to be our defensive coordinator, but I'm very close with him. I'm busy coaching the Super Bowl, so I need you to basically interview him. You know defense, John. You know this defense because it's an offshoot of the one I played in Tampa, and so remember Linda, my wife, running down to Staples buying a whiteboard and brought Saleh to my house in San Diego, and we had a great time talking ball, and I was impressed with his mental aptitude. He's a really sharp guy, his passion for the game of football, and his ability to communicate. And he was great for us early on. Helped really create the defense that we play now in schematically and in who we wanted to be. So eternally grateful to Robert for the contributions he made here. But now we compete against him, and I've been here before. I competed against my brother-in-law when I played. So it's there's people you love, but you love to beat them too. And Robert's got a good football team. They had a lot of disappointment last year with Rodgers, Aaron getting hurt in game 1. So they're going to come out ready, and we have to be ready, and we will be.
John, I know we're winding down here. Now, you're a man of a certain age, kind of like me, or a little younger. But Aaron Rodgers was in the league when you were in the league. That's mind-blowing to me, right? Like, I don't know. 05, 06, 07. I don't know if you guys – he wasn't starting, right? Favre was the guy. And I don't know if you guys played the Packers. I didn't have a chance to do the research. Did you ever see him?
Yeah, I played against Aaron. He when I was in Denver, he said it in his press conference yesterday. Somebody in my family sent me a little clip that said, "I'm so old I played against John Lynch." Okay. So he's been around for a while, and what a player! He's fantastic. He can do things throwing the football that you marvel at, and I think you saw Troy Aikman will be calling this game, and he said something recently, the way they're protecting quarterbacks, he thinks that a lot of quarterbacks will play into their 40s. So, it's those guys do have protections, but we got to try to make his life miserable. The fans are going to play a huge role. Aaron does a lot at the line of scrimmage, and we've seen it before, him getting frustrated and him struggling to communicate with Levi's, in a raucous fashion. And so we need the fans here. We need them here early. So much going on with the the season opener, kickoff weekend, Frank going in, get there early. It's a 5:15 start, right, Corey? 5:15, and it's going to be packed. It's going to be exciting, and we need to make this the home field advantage it's become.
It's going to be awesome. We're wrapping it up, John, but I'm just kind of like marveling at the excitement of week one and all this stuff. And you know what jumped out at me? And I asked John about this. How about your boy Bill Belichick now going full heel? He's on the media. He's riffing. I mean, he's giving out as a take, burning up where he kind of not saying knocked, but he had like a mediocre review of Caleb Williams. And people were like, check out Belichick. He's got takes. Does it blow your mind? How well do you know him?
I know Bill fairly well from, free agency during my career. I flirted with the Patriots a couple times, and then in year 16, I actually went there and spent 3 weeks and spent a lot of time with Bill at that point. It's interesting. Our eldest child is our son Jake. He's now coaching at the University of Washington, and Steve Belichick's the defensive coordinator there. So Bill has been spending a lot of time up there. So Jake's been taken in. I mean, you imagine you're in your first year of coaching, a graduate assistant, and you're around Bill Belichick all the time. And I've like, Jake, you take that in and you soak it up for everything it's worth. And so, been a cool experience. But yeah, watching Bill with the media, I guess he joined Instagram.
He did.
Earlier this week, as he calls it, InstaFace. But it's going to be fun to see his insights. He's been so guarded for so many years, and now to hear some of what makes that man tick and what's made him so successful is going to be interesting for the whole world. And he really is. The one thing I'll tell people, Bill has a tremendous sense of humor. We didn't always see it because he didn't want us to see it, but I think it will come out now, and people will really appreciate the other side of Bill Belichick.
And you were so good in the booth. Do you think Tom Brady, how's he? I mean, I wonder how he's going to approach it. He's got the Dallas-Cleveland game Sunday. You might be able to watch it because you guys will be at the hotel.
A couple weeks ago, he did a mock game.
Yeah.
Our last preseason game, not our last one, but game 2, the one that was played here, and. My old crew at Fox, Kevin Burkhardt and all them, actually went out and had some dinner with that whole crew. And Tom really he's taken this just like Belichick. You see what made this guy so successful. He's approaching this like he's getting ready for a game, and his preparation is just, it's unreal. But to spend some time with Tom and see how he's approaching this like he does everything else in his life, he'll be scrutinized, because people are going to do that, but he'll be really good at it, I promise you. And I think the hardest thing for him, and with the greatest of the greats, is to it'd be really easy that everybody sucks, because as Tom Brady, it's he's used to a certain standard, and you can't do that. People, they've got full weeks with a lot of going on at work and all that. You got to express the beauty of the game, and so I think that's going to be Tom's biggest challenge. But he'll figure that out like he does everything else, and he'll have a lot of insight that is going to be really interesting to listen to and hear. I believe he opens up in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's at Dallas-Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How about that? Fox is wooing this guy, paying him all that money, and hey, welcome to Cleveland.
Hello, Cleveland. Yeah, hello, Cleveland. I know we got to let you go, but just like last one, I mean, because I'm being honest now, seeing those guys on TV last night, we all had a reaction. Did you have a reaction? I mean, I don't like looking at the uniform. I don't like looking at the helmet. The right tackle false starts on every play, John.
Well, I'm glad you said it.
I mean, God.
The other thing is, man, they're a phenomenal football and it looks like their offense is humming. So the Chiefs, I mean, it was a great game that came right down to the wire. The Ravens are going to be a very good football team, but the Chiefs, they're the Chiefs, and Andy does a tremendous job of preparing them, and Mahomes is Mahomes, Kelsey's Kelsey. I mean, Chris Jones is Chris Jones. They're a fantastic football team, and they'll be there this year just like every year. They're going to have a tremendous team, and so it was fun watching, the opener last night. And came right down to the end.
Well, you're the best, John. Always good chewing the fat. And man, thanks for sharing all those stories about Ricky and that intense week, you guys. I can't believe it's been less than a week, right? It's been amazing. So, and that Monday night, Ricky would want to talk football. We're all going to watch football, and we know you're going to be absolutely dialed in. So we'll let you go to work. Appreciate it, and thanks. And we'll talk next week.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
There he is, the great John Lynch on KMBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.